Hello and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. I'm Michael Sidgwick, joined by fellow Dudley boy Michael Hamflett to discuss everything that went down on last night's show. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure to subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube for daily wrestling podcasts where we preview and review Dynamite, Collision, Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have question and answer time. We have wrestler interviews on occasion, have roundtable wrestling discussions, and we host a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WhatCulture. Now, Hamflett, we've spoken over the desks this morning. I think we have the same broad thoughts about this Dynamite, those being the absolute most fundamentally important thing about a wrestling promotion is thrillingly near perfect, and that's the thing that matters.
Yes, that's not to bury everything else.
No.
But it really does remind you of just how the most important stuff is the most important stuff.
Yeah.
We're dancing around it. The booking of Hangman Page has been exemplary.
Yeah.
In the lead up to and execution of and follow on from All In, this is precisely how I want to see a new babyface world champion booked, and especially Hangman Page.
Yeah.
You know, he needed this. It feels like an on-the-nose, direct response to like reasonable criticisms of not just Hangman Page's first world title run, but how that character in the past has been used following like a big victory or something like that. And great, because there's something like not quite as cathartic as All In, but like even more satisfying in a different way.
Reassuring.
Yeah, reassuring, that's the word. And the comparison I used to you when we were talking over the desks was how post WrestleMania 14, WWE was far from fixed as a promotion, but with Steve Austin on top, you could do whatever you wanted in the undercard because the top end was finally right.
Yeah.
Finally they had found their answer. And to build on the momentum that AEW definitely had going into All In, the single most important thing was the preservation and follow-on success of the Hangman Page character. All of that is to say, whereas last week I quite enjoyed what was the one you said to me? The post
hangover
pints. Yeah. I quite enjoyed that feeling, luxuriating it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like people can be tired, people can be on a come down, but it's a come down of like one of the best experiences. I don't think I've loved a lot of the directions here.
No.
And I'm patient. And the point is about having a top star as reassuringly well booked as Hangman Page is that what that creates is this trickle down reassurance. Mm-hmm. So you have time and faith for everything to play out. This was such a test of let it play out because there was a lot of stuff here that I felt like I have to let play out.
Yeah.
I could go in 2-footed on it now, but because I'm so reassured by Hangman Page, I feel no need to. If they were botching the top, you'd be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But we're on like kind of the setup stuff of the week one, the week two of a lot of new directions here. I didn't like many of them.
Before we go segment by segment and give our thoughts on those things that we're not entirely sure about just yet, there was a point in this show, and it was very, very near the end, where my overall, satisfaction level was, not sure about this. And Hangman doing what he did in the main event just left me with a great sense of, oh God, he's awesome.
You're roaring at it.
It's that was like the theme of the podcast, if we can reduce it and condense it, was I wasn't mad on this show, and then Hangman Page comes out at the end, and then I am.
Yeah.
That's how important he is to the promotion right now. But we'll go into why Hangman is so awesome later on. But Dynamite, July 23rd, 2025, emanates from the Aragon Ballroom, or rather the Aragon Cock and Ball Torture Room.
Thank you.
In Chicago. There's approximately 1,200 people packed into that same gorgeous, ornate venue. The show opens with Excalibur notifying us of a World Tag Team Title Eliminator tournament with mystery brackets that will determine the number one contenders to the Hurt Syndicate's championships. We then go to the back as the remarkable Renee Paquette asks Hangman Page, why did you take the match with Wheeler Yuta after such an arduous few weeks? Page says he's out for revenge after the Death Riders attacked his close friend Colt Cabana on Collision. Good to know that they're back on really good terms, after Colt suddenly abandoned him before Double or Nothing 2022.
Yeah.
It's just good to know that they're still pals, because that was weird. That was really shrouded in mystery.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad they're friends again after they just stopped suddenly being friends on screen. MGF interrupts, calls Hangman Page Seabiscuit. Hanger immediately is having none of it, telling Max that he knows he won't execute the contract in advance. MGF is a child, a facade, and a gutless coward. MGF is pissed at that.
Amazing stuff from Hangman Page here. Really strong performance. I think there's so much to read into how and when and what he is willing to interact with Renee Paquette and what he'll divulge.
Yeah.
I think that's so interesting, and it always has been.
It's been a lovely thread, that.
They're really careful with that, and I enjoyed it here already. What he was like prepared to reveal about his motivations and everything like that, knowing what he knows and what she knows. Shutting down MJF the way he did was so cool, because the MJF character, as we know, responds very badly to that, and it sits with him, and he plots revenge, and he cannot take any slight against him without there being like some retribution down the line that is going to be a total overreaction.
Yeah.
But it's like that will send him to, like, you can visualize the MJF character headcanon, like goes to some like little quiet Burberry adorned war room. It's like, I didn't have that on my bingo card, and Hangman needs to suffer for that one.
Yeah.
I will get him for that. So I love that. Even though he's got his own distraction with Briscoe and the Hurt Syndicate and everything, I love that. What was the other thing I was going to say? That was it. Such like a kind of vintage Tony Khan overcorrection. People say my tournament's too predictable. Check it out. I can't predict any of it, assholes. This is funny. I don't mind it, but this like all the TBAs as a visual quite like it popped me.
Yeah.
Predict this one then, losers. Like this is funny.
It was funny, but then he undermined it, which we'll get to later on. Yeah, again, Hangman Page is your whip-smart babyface who's been through too much in his personal and professional life to sanction anything that MJF might say is a taunt or a psychological ploy, but in doing so, he's going to underestimate MJF, which I really, really quite enjoy as well. Match number 1 is Hangman Page versus Wheeler Yuta, and it's a beautiful, necessary drift away from that mandatory back-and-forth AEW TV match formula. Yuta, a bitch, flies into Page with a suicide dive before Page can get even in the ring. Page quickly, however, gets back into it by murdering Yuta with a lariat and a wicked throw into the barricade. Yuta tries to shift the momentum by raking the eyes after eating some chops in a Death Valley driver, but within, 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, like a 2-minute match, Page blows him away with a lariat and the buckshot for a quick squash win. Before we get to what I thought was another tremendous use of the Hangman Page character in the post-match, I said yesterday, like, and this is sort of an indication of the trust that I have with AEW right now. I saw Page Yuta on the match graphic. Part of me, and this is just my, stupid mind, thought, this is the kind of match I would have sort of rubbished as cliched, obligatory spreadsheet booking if they'd done it before All In Texas of, the wrestler is in a feud with his rival, have a match with rival stablemate. It is something AEW does constantly. I said yesterday in the preview, which, or Tuesday, now that we can peel back the old curtain, not that it mattered because they didn't really reveal anything else that was happening on the show.
It was all on the night stuff,
before. Yeah. That I just thought Hangman Page is too intelligent to just simply fall back and revert to type of, all right, okay, well, I'm wrestling now. Let's have 12 minutes of back and forth. I didn't expect them to go this far, but I'm thrilled that they did. This idea of Hangman Page, he's just won the title. He has just lived through every single trial and tribulation, personally and professionally, imaginable. He is now he's an unstoppable, undeniable, fully restored ass kicker. And not only is this a great reflection of that, this shock match, but it's going to take something big now to unsettle him again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's great stuff, this.
Multifariously refreshing, this. He kicked his ass, and it was really satisfying. And Willie getting his ass kicked like this, like just a satisfying thing to experience in terms of the characters. But yeah, to your point, what this does for an AEW when it was brand new was so great at this, but had the benefit of being brand new. When it could just set new expectations and like rewire your brain chemistry with something like the Cody and Darby draw.
Yeah.
Or like the odd things where there would be a flash win, the likes of which, probably the introduction maybe of the Lance Archer character, the likes of which you wouldn't typically expect. It's like, right, this changes everything now.
Yeah.
There has been a new parameter that has been laid out and set. Cody using the figure four to win a match is another one that just springs to mind for some reason. He's got that.
Yeah.
This for the Hangman Page character, brilliant. This for, and like it plays into the story of the night, Wheeler Yuta's position within the Death Riders / the AEW roster, brilliant. And how we might receive future TV matches. I am ready. You know, on the preview when we sort of...
Collision will completely blow away the take you're about to say.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. You know, we didn't really discuss it, but we are trained, and it's sometimes part of the fun as analysts to look back at how these wrestlers interacted previously in the inevitable case now, because AEW has been around 6 years, that they might have wrestled in the past. And you're really good at like immediately pulling that last match. Here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's what they might lean on. And
we're going to have a test of my AEW knowledge on a In the Can podcast being recorded after this one to try and paper over the cracks of Wacky Summer. So let's see how much I really know.
But it serves the purpose often of just saying, well, here's what might get used tonight because this wrestler knows this about this wrestler, for example. It is probably time to move away from that booking philosophy a little bit. It's probably time to stop. Tony Khan's got into this amazing memory for it. Like, well, I don't know, for example, let's say like Hangman really like worked Wheeler Yu's arm last time, and that's probably something that you was going to be aware of second time around. To pull away from that a little bit, as earnest and as honest and a real sports feel approach that was in the early days of AEW, it probably is time to just veer away from that a bit and book to the needs of your characters. Yeah. And that's what this was. You were booking to your needs of Hangman Page and Wheeler Yuta, and it was so much more refreshing for that. And it's nice maybe as we're previewing Dynamites in the weeks, months, and years to come that we don't have to necessarily pull from that and just be like, yeah, they were once 50-50, but what do we actually need from this match?
Yeah.
And I was so happy that they got everything they needed to from this rather than worrying about like Wheeler getting enough or coming back from the commercial and Wheeler's taking over here, gang. Like that Excalibur tone of voice that you pointed out of, it's like this set the tone.
Yeah.
This set the tone for a Dynamite that ultimately, for the most part, couldn't live up to it. But it's the Whalebone thing about, well, the last thing was awesome.
Yeah.
And the tone was really well set. So forget what happened in the middle.
Yeah.
Right there.
That again, this was an excellent, excellent shift in the direction and psyche of the Hangman Page character. Another illustration of what a genius this performer is and what a wonderful fit he is with AEW. When they're aligned, he is the main character. It is the best company. Like, so many have, if you look between 2019 and 2025, right, which is the span that Hangman Page has been a television character in the medium of mainstream professional wrestling. Yes, I know he was in New Japan before then, right? Has anyone had this near flawless run? No. Has anyone else kept themselves like virtually healthy, which is one thing, but never ever boring? Yes, sometimes the off-screen fascination has sort of been baked into that Hangman Page character, but the mileage they've gotten out of a guy who can't win the big one, or guy who can't hold on to the big one, guy who suffers from self-doubt, guy who suffers from various mental health crises. Like, I don't think I've ever been like, oh, I'm sick of Hangman, get him off TV. I literally don't think that's ever happened once, even when there's been times when I know he's been better. You can't, the fact that he did that for 6 years as the Nelly man, the perennial underachiever, awesome on the chase, so much so, and there's such an emotionally intense bond between Hangman Page and the audience that you can kind of get away with keep doing it and keep doing it. After 6 years, it was time for him to be the man. The fans demanded it. There were suspicions of you can't do this every single time. The way he mutated his inner sadness into just outright rage constantly was one of the few awesome things about AEW's otherwise messy 2024. The fact that in late 2023, AEW was basically in the bin creatively and in terms of its PR, and yet Hangman Page and the Swerve Strickland program was just elevating everything. There's been this elusive, final, bold shift in character direction where Hangman Page is embodying what it actually means to be the main character. No self-doubt. He's completely restored. He is whole. He is great. And he carries himself like he was born to play this. And the last 6 years have happened and have meant something at the same time. I think the guy's a genius, and we're seeing... And the thing is as well, he's so cool to watch, and it's so reassuring that there's always going to be a lull when you... Like, it's Backlash season now, realistically.
Yeah.
You can't have WrestleMania vibes all year round. That's one of the problems and the byproduct of having this Starrcade, Wrestle Kingdom, WrestleMania scale show of what else you got. You can't take a break. You probably should wrestling, but you're not gonna.
Yeah.
The fact that he is so awesome to watch, like a proper babyface champion of the world. Like, if you're this good a character, you can make the sort of boring lull bit interesting and reassuring.
I don't feel it any of that as strongly as you, but this already is making me realize how it's because with Hangman Page, I want destinations to always feel like this. I have my excitement and emotional investment in his journeys has been chipped away at by this feeling that I've got that when we arrive at the destination, it's never quite as satisfying as I want it to be, especially for him as a singles guy. And this time feels different already. And I don't know if maybe that's because something did hit different for me with Swerve and Hangman, where I really, really loved pretty much every detail they put into that story and the changes that happened along the way. But this destination that Hangman has reached, and there's been like a few in the past where his long stories have led him to this point where you go, right, everything's fine. And then clearly it isn't fine. It sets him on his way to the next one. This is my favorite. This is my favorite thus far. And it feels, to be honest, more like a culmination of a 6-year journey where it's not been perfect. Like there has been quite a bold, I will say there is a real boldness to the experimentation with this as a singular journey. The main character thing that it's never really sat right with me, and now for the first time it is, and I just buy it now. I've never bought it previously with Hangman Page, as like when he hits that goal, when he hits that target, that's almost when within weeks I've sort of thought, I'm off now, I'm done. Like,
but it's fair to say that you don't reflect the AEW audience.
Oh God, no, yeah. I'm not speaking on behalf of the audience. It's my personal sort of read or taste on Hangman or whatever. This one feels totally different.
He's the man.
Yeah,
he is the actual.
I'm
man.
finding him way more satisfying as this guy than I ever have.
Yeah, he's the man, and I just love how the contrast between this run, because the very first thing he did when he was a champion was, I mean, the matches were absolutely incredible, but Bryan Danielson immediately called into question his credentials as a top guy. I worked the night after WrestleMania. What are you doing celebrating in the ring? And then he was given this test, and then we were in that sort of let's sign everyone era. He's unmistakably the man this time.
Yeah.
And I'm almost glad that first reign happened, if only for the Danielson and Archer matches. Mm-hmm. But it's just, again, yet more. Even when things don't go perfect for Hangman Page. And I'll agree with you in that, where I find little flaws with his run in AEW to the point where, like, I've been bored of the Young Bucks, bored of Jon Moxley. I've never been really bored by Hangman Page. I think that's genuinely impressive. But he's able, because he's so clever, to retroactively make those boring bits or those absences or those bits where he seemed a bit checked out form the law of the character in retrospect. I think the guy's a genius.
That's a great point as well. And it really helps in this era, I think, where you are very much encouraged to, God, we've read Geordie Redditor adjacent lore for characters for the likes of, like, that do not deserve it. You know, like trying to thread together these disparate parts.
Aleister Black.
A perfect example. These disparate parts. Hangman Page never makes them feel disparate even when they are. And that's such a valuable thing to highlight, I think, because it's...
I mean, the best thing...
I think it's core to what, like, a lot of AEW fans or, like, Hangman Page super fans want to supplant onto him as well. Like, that's another thing that's never sat right with me, really. Like, I don't really like how babied, like, the elite and best friends in Kota Ibushi are by their, like, biggest fans. It's just it's something that's a bit of a turn off for me as a wrestling fan. But I don't think there's any need to do it. What you are seeing in front of you is the man, is the guy, the top star, and it doesn't require any of the kind of the wrapping the guy up in cotton wool protection that a lot of his fans have for him, because he's doing it himself.
Yeah.
He's simply, like, backing himself up in a way that doesn't require any of that like extra sort of support and groundswell.
Yeah, he's like a human video package, really, in that he can make you feel like this was the plan all along.
Yeah.
This was the purpose all along. The guy's great, and in a great post-match angle that might have implications for the future of the Death Riders. Page threatens to hang Yuta with a chain before thinking better of it. He shows mercy, I think, because a good man only really exacts vengeance when it's a total necessity, like he had to do what he did to Jon Moxley at All In. Yuta's just like this pitiable little follower who's not really worthy of that kind of reaction. Page senses that in the moment. He's not a monster. He really isn't. He's like, you know what? I can't be done with you. You're not worth my rage. You're not worth my going out of my own headspace to try and like really violently attack, because I only do that because I'm a nice, genuinely noble man.
Well, and he knows what that rage has done to him in the past.
Yeah.
That's his, like, to use a really silly example, but that's his, like, Finn Balor demon, where it was taking a part of him.
Yeah.
And he's come out of the other side. Why would he want to go back into where he was 12 months ago? Because it was doing him, he said it out loud, hasn't he, to Swerve? It was doing me no good.
It was doing him no good whatsoever. Yeah. He also says to Yuta, no one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. Yuta seems shaken by that, but also a little bit taken aback by the fact that someone isn't being awful to him to try and get something out of him. This might be interpreted by Jon Moxley as, oh, you've gone soft, leading somewhere there. There was a lot in all of the facial expressions during this post-match angle.
Wheeler Yeeter, you might say.
Why would I say
that? He begins his Jey Uso journey to his own main event run off the back of his own tyrannical boss.
I do not want to talk about Jey Uso here, so instead we're going to go back onto the subject matter at hand, and that is AEW Dynamite. We go backstage with Athena and Billie Starkz, who cut a promo together. Athena is wearing a Shark Week hat, which I could do without. It's a little bit too cute again. The bit here is that Billie is Athena's puppet. Athena asks questions. Billie answers them in Athena's voice. One such question is, who is Toni? It's like Chris Jericho patter when you're doing a Bruno Sammartino. It's Chris Jericho patter with the Roman Reigns reign length.
Yeah.
It just
weird choices,
and there's a dissonance that I don't care for. But Billie answers the questions in Athena's voice. Who is Toni Storm? A musty asshole, apparently. Musty asshole. I've just written here in my notes that this is mildly amusing stuff, I guess, which, if nothing else, brings Toni's genius into focus. Toni is one of the most heightened gimmicks in years and years, but she still feels major league and real incredible in a way this doesn't. Athena's playing a more realistic character that I can't buy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Toni Storm's great, and sometimes if you can match that with the Mariah May character and the Mercedes Moné star power, it's wonderful. This isn't.
I am letting this play out, but we didn't do Ladies' Night yesterday. Wilborn's not here. It wouldn't be fair. And we're not doing it today. And there was only one women's match. But it's this stuff that, you know, amidst the game and amidst the fun, it's this stuff that I think collectively we're trying to highlight here. Because I don't think this is the approach that you should be taking with Athena. And I don't think Tony Khan sees the error of his ways here. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't believe he would do this for... So Toni Storm is her division's Hangman Page, right? And I understand the contrasting characters. I don't think he would book a Ring of Honor champion from the male division who held the belt for thousands of days, who was finally coming for Hangman Page after this like kind of groundswell of support for this character to get his chance on television. I don't think he would book it the same way. I know that Athena does this in backstage promos in Ring of Honor.
Which is a counter argument, I'm going to say.
Which is a contrast, and she's bringing that. So if you're a Ring of Honor regular, nothing feels weird about this, probably, I assume. This feels fairly trivial, and I don't feel particularly good about it. I don't sense Athena as a threat beyond a scamp with a contract. And it doesn't sit quite right with me.
I don't like this execute the contract, which is their way of saying cash in, but they don't want to say cash in. I don't like that element across Dynamite at all. The fact that there's two concurrently, it just doesn't feel like this great AEW resurgence back to the old values when you are doing a lot of sub-WWE stuff on your show, right? But stand up for AEW, Tony Khan, counter-argument. Mm-hmm. Tony Khan is not heavily overseeing or scripting Ring of Honor at this point, nor has he been for years. I think a lot of this is Athena's way of doing promos and cutting promos, and I don't think it's particularly good, but it's a holdover from her stuff with Ring of Honor, which again, I think is probably just a case of build your character like this, however you want. I've kind of lost interest a little bit, so let's not blame Toni for everything.
Just feels lightweight.
It's trivial as hell. I don't like it. I do not like it. We then go back to the ring, the squared circle, because match 2 is FTR versus JetSpeed.
Between the hours of
as it pertains to FTR, it's FTR versus JetSpeed in the first tournament match. Tony Khan is back in full effect. General thrust is that Speedball is wise to Cash Wheeler's attempt to cheat. FTR can't dominate, the walls close in throughout, and every near fall, as Excalibur points out, gets closer and closer. I mean, that's kind of how most matches work, particularly in AEW, but that was the explicit story beat here. They are getting closer and closer, and that Speedball is too much of a dynamic physical threat, and a smart guy, Cash Wheeler and Dax are not cutting the ring in half here. They're just completely overawed by JetSpeed and what they can do and their stylistic approach to it. There's one really awesome sequence where Speedball does a springboard moonsault to the outside, and he basically is so clever that he knows where Dax is going to be. So by the time Dax rolls out of the ring, he's just been splattered by this 1-on-2, I guess, springboard moonsault from Mike Bailey. The babyfaces have cleared a path to victory, but at the finish, they haven't counted on Stokely, who, after the attack last week from Cope, was on a crutch. He's over-egging it. Mm-hmm. He hands over the crutch to Dax, who holds onto it for leverage, much better than the boot in the ass and the Fed we've seen recently, pinning, I think it was Knight. Lovely creativity at the finish there. I've written in my notes, this is very, very good, but I hesitate to say excellent, even though everybody else did, because I thought the tempo got a bit stuck as they entered the final third. The same thing happened at the same speed for a few too many minutes. That extra gear, I don't think, was quite reached. Also, I thought the FTR excess returned after what I've written here as the beautiful simplicity of the Collision Outrunners Classic. I think they needed a few more beats per minute down the stretch and fewer near falls, and this becomes great, but the crowd is so hot that it almost feels great in key moments.
Yeah. So I thought this was excellent, but you've articulated that in such a way that maybe I should walk that back a little bit. I was going to say,
have your own thoughts, bro.
Well, I was going to say, with like obviously, with great respect to the likes of DIY and Wyatt Six, like it felt like I was watching the two best tag teams of the year in competition with one another.
Yeah,
and I really love that.
Young Bucks, but I
really love that. You always will. I really felt that competitive energy between these two. There's
just one. There's like 3 too many near falls. It's the Dax thing.
And now,
maybe it's Cash, and Dax is just a little bit more outspoken.
Well,
on social media and the like. Maybe it's his idea to just do 2 or 3 near falls where I'm like, oh, that's one too many. I bought the last one. I'll probably buy the next one, but I didn't buy this one.
Well, it's funny you say that because I quite liked, despite FTR being heels, Cash still doing that thing where he knows he has it in him to work to the tempo of JetSpeed and thus doing it.
Yeah.
And I thought that fit here in a way that maybe it wouldn't have done against a team like the Young Bucks. You know, if the Young Bucks are baby faces again, and FTR are playing these heels, I think Cash needs to
the guy's a machine.
And he needs to go like full, well, you might be slowing it down too far, kid, like to just make the point that like, I will never make these mistakes again against yous. Yeah. But I love the fact that he gets just over exuberant, even as a baddie now. And it's just like, JetSpeed. I'm JetSpeed, actually. Watch this. Yeah. Like, I love that about Cash in here, and I thought it provides a nice contrast to Dax. I still haven't watched the Collision Outrunners match.
Oh, it's better than this.
Well, I was really disappointed by the All-In pre-show match.
Why did you watch that?
I just fancied it. I just fancied giving it a look because
the first one's like actual magic.
Yeah, and I'll probably never watch it now. I never obviously feel the magic because I've seen the second one that was inferior. But when I really think back, I've enjoyed FTR a lot this year. And
was it one of your favorite things in all of wrestling, wasn't it? That initial stuff where they were like, Cope, should we turn on Cope?
Loved it. Loved how that played out. It's tricky because I think the post-match, which involves that guy and a lot of these characters, was a total mess. But that's why I want to praise the match because, honestly, I thought they really had something here. And I think it's risky. I guess what I'm saying is, I would have quite happily taken this as the final of this tournament. The only sort of thing I had was like, JetSpeed might be screwed here. JetSpeed might have fallen at that like women's division right, you've had your run. Thanks for the 6
I
weeks.
had no expectations to the contrary, so I was happy to see them get some time and get another chance to blow people away because they're just building their case at this point.
Maybe that's what it is, yeah. And like, I nearly said that maybe the wins and losses don't matter here, but maybe that's where we're at with JetSpeed.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed this. This was, maybe the stakes helped, maybe the idea that like FTR, I don't sense FTR will win the tournament and getting to try and map out how they're going to get on when they take on TBA. And then if they beat TBA, what about like TBA in the final?
I know, you got to, the thing is though, the thing about this tournament is like, it's just so, I mean, I can't really see past TBA.
But I was, as much as you can't map any of it out, I was trying to map out FTR and where it'll go right and wrong for them. And I just thought the manner in which they went about winning this match is what I love about them. And maybe I got fooled by the near fall excess. Maybe this is one of those nights where I was worked by the work of it, and I wasn't sat there like arms full. They'd be like, Dax, you've gone too far, mate.
It's just one too many again for me.
As heels, it's where I like it. It's as baby faces where it rankles with me more, because as heels, you can kind of wave away contradictions with, "Oh, you cheeky bastards."
Yeah.
Whereas as baby faces, you're like, "Isn't this what you moan about?"
Yeah.
And now you're just doing it for the pops.
Yeah.
Like as heels, like as cut-off merchants, I think I get a lot more out of it because we've talked about this before. No, it's not doing it all along in the original NXT run.
Yeah.
That was the dark arts of it that weren't that dark. So
I can't recall precisely the spots, but there were at least 2 minutes where I thought, JetSpeed have won.
Yeah.
Like there was one where I wish I could remember what move happened. But it's AEW, it's 2 hours. They do kind of blur into one another. But one where it was like they nailed that sweetest and narrowest of spots where your first impulse is that referee botch. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't the end. You know what I mean? Let's get to this totally bizarre post-match. I don't know what the hell's going on. Let it play out, etc., etc. Tony Schiavone hits the ring. Great touch, owing to what has unfolded throughout the year. To reluctantly interview FTR, he basically says, sometimes you got to give it to them, you know? Stokely can't talk about last week when he wants to do the exposition dump without the crowd screaming over him. Enter Cope to ruin everything all over again. Everything he does touches to crap. He's Sadim. He's got the reverse Midas touch.
Oh, that's good. Sadim Copeland.
Yes. Not Sadim.
Sadim.
Yeah.
Sadim.
I'm not saying he's quite that evil.
No.
Anyway.
It's Wednesday. I'm awful.
You can't attack FTR because in one of those selective rules, even though there's brawls all over the shop on every single episode of this program, Stokely's negotiated a deal where Cope would get fired.
Yeah.
God, try getting rid of him, bloody hell. He won't get his pops. In the event that
gotta get my TV laughs.
You gotta get my TV pops. He can't. Cope says, I can't attack FTR, but I've made a business deal with some people who can. It's the Hurt Syndicate Protection Agency, who might be turning face, or what? I don't know. We'll get to this a little bit later on, but for now, they are pals with Cope. They brawl with FTR, which, if you're a little bit cynical, in a world first, the tournament is a waste of time before the brackets are even revealed. So it's FTR Hurt Syndicate final, and I don't even know who else is in the tournament. I mean,
no, because FTR would win it to get the shot against the Hurt.
Right, okay.
But FTR aren't going to win it because we know what's. Oh, no, it's for Forbidden Door, isn't it? They might.
Yeah, they might.
I wonder what TBA thinks of this.
This is Telegraph Tony. This is classic Telegraph Tony. You don't do this match if you're not doing FTR versus Hurt Syndicate. I mean, you don't do this angle. It's just not in his MO.
You put them in front of the tag champions, and then this like new master plan Cope guy comes up with a reason for them to lose the tournament.
Let's apply Occam's razor here. Telegraph Tony strikes again.
Maybe.
I mean, I'd love to hold my hands up with this one. It just feels like he just needs to tell you what's going to happen, doesn't he?
He does a bit. In a tournament that, as of the result of this match, had only one team in it.
I know.
FTR.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a world first.
I'm going to say something quickly, and then I want your broader thoughts on all of this. Right. I said this year, 2023 was probably the worst of it. And I remember saying, like, even when I can acknowledge that there are things on this show that I like that mostly everybody else hates, I can say that I like them because they kind of remind me of the Fed, and AEW shouldn't really remind me of the Fed. We had these conversations, right? I was like defending probably elements of Better Than You, Baby.
It's a bit of all entertainment wrestling tonight.
After a lot of people had given up, right? And I was like, I like this, but I probably shouldn't like it for the reasons I like it. I should be watching this. I'm row. Don't do that, AEW, right? They fell into that trap here a little bit because I don't mind cashing stuff, right? But I know the AEW audience at large doesn't like it, so maybe don't do it. I've got no real complaints about the cash-in teasers on this because I've said
if it was before. A good WWE idea,
which I think the cash-ins are, right? I think so here's the thing, right? So I enjoy cash-ins and I like the drama and the excitement and the moment of it. So it's like, well, I would do that, but AEW probably shouldn't, is what I'm saying, even though I can enjoy it on TV without getting cross.
But there are people who follow WWE who are kind of over it.
Yeah, you still have to work sometimes to get them right. It's no longer the guarantee it used to be of this big pop and whatever.
So I just don't know why you would completely thieve a not dying concept, don't be stupid, but a old WWE concept.
Well, so the point I was going to make was I don't have really many criticisms of how those cash-in elements play out later on this Dynamite, so I won't give them. However, this one I do, because this Cope back in the day as Edge in WWE, probably constantly thinking, right, what's Vince McMahon's terrible creative going to have for me today? How on earth do I protect myself? How do I protect this character? What can I say or do to try and just keep this character alive on this dreadful television show? Is now adopting that approach in a company where he shouldn't need to. This stupid, I've forgotten the thing already. The protection order that he's got out against, the FTR have got out against him, right? Is very... They're all backstage and Cope is like, yeah, well, like, I'm dead hard in class. How am I not beating you up?
Every week.
They come up with like
twice on Sunday.
Yeah, and he's like, restraining order. Right, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, all right, fine, restraining order. Like a legal procedure that Tony Khan is prepared to sign, but then he's also allowed me to hire a illegal protection racket to kick you guys' asses.
And I also carry a spiked bat to the ring.
Yeah, at all times I've got this deadliest of weapons, but like I can't use it on you. But then Cash, Dax, restraining order. Good idea, but I need another one because we're forgetting that I'm cooler and I've got a bigger brain than you guys, so I need to think around that.
Bigger cock as well, probably.
Massive dick. Like, it's probably not clear enough because Stokely's got this restraining order. I'm worried that the fans don't think my knob's big enough and my brain's massive. Right, can we come up with some talent that I can pay to kick your ass?
I'm rich.
Guess so. Yeah, I'm wadded, I'm loaded. Yeah, I guess so. Like, it feels like that's the approach he's taking to this storytelling. Yeah. And that, to me, is a bigger theft of WWE tropes than Money in the Bank cash-ins because you don't, in AEW, theoretically, you don't need to protect your character in such a way because the storytelling will do that for you.
Yeah.
But that's the learning tree that Cope sat under for all that time. And I just think he's stuck with it. And I think that's why this crap plays out in front of us.
Or he's an egomaniac.
All of the above.
One of the two. On the subject, very quick trivia tangent. You talked about Edge and WWE ideas. I wrote an article, since adapted into video, very successful. One mind-blowing secret for
so you've probably seen it.
Every year of WWE history from like 1984 onwards, right?
Good, that. I do like that.
Thank you. Just things that I've remembered over the years or exhaustively researched and put my own words, an excuse to make jokes, basically. When WWE, well, I need to specify this. When WWE hit creative rock bottom, so just to narrow down that 20-year span, early to mid-2000s of like, we've done every single possible match in a row on weekly free TV. What else we got? Nothing. Probably should have built it. I've got no competition. Well, let's just do our own crap. Oh, that's not working. What do we do?
I hate all the wrestlers.
Yeah, you've probably remembered this already because you've got an encyclopedic WWE brain. At one point, one of these little random mad WWE whims that they would just drop constantly, they would say to their like top main event stars or upper mid-carders, right, how do you think the TV, like they would survey them.
Yeah.
And Edge was one of the guys who got surveyed. It's like, right, what did you think of SmackDown this week? How would you improve it? You're great storytellers in there. You can help us improve the show. Why not, pal? And there would John Laurinaitis at the time was tasked with sending out these survey emails or whatever, firing them off, one to Edge. And it'd be like, right, okay, well, the show sucks. My bit sucked. We shouldn't be doing this. We should be doing more of this, etc., etc. I went, thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. It's actually great. I'm not going to send you any more emails anyway.
Turns out, now that we've seen your ideas, we realise we were correct all along and ours were the best.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for confirming what we already thought.
Absolutely. So this Cope, Hurt Syndicate, MGF stuff was bananas.
It gets worse.
And it gets a little bit worse. But maybe we can let it play out. We shall see. We go backstage with Nick Wayne, his mom, who, of course, has got it going on, and Kip Sabian.
You're a funny guy.
Wayne says he wants to form one of the most dominant factions in AEW. Sorry to be a dickhead, but who doesn't? And now says that they are uncaged with a capital C because they are now free from Christian Cage.
You know, I was talking about like ideas and methods that you probably shouldn't borrow from the recognised leader in sports entertainment. This is another
absolutely abysmal wordplay. Yeah. What I feel bad about is that like whoever came up with this, whether it was Nick Wayne himself, and he's a young lad, allowed to make all sorts of mistakes on his pro wrestling journey at this point, or Tony Khan or whoever. This is the kind of thing, and as a writer, I am, trust me, bro, acutely aware of where you think, oh God, that sounds so cool. Boom, hit send on that script or hit print.
Stuff in my archives. Hideous.
And then 2, 3, 4 years later, you're like, oh my God, I'm a complete embarrassment to both myself and my family. Yep. This is probably uncaged, but like, I want to do a dominant faction. Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
That's why they haven't even broke up yet.
Yeah, and like, there's 2 of you. Does that mean more at the joint? I don't care. Maybe they'll get the crew involved or something. I personally don't care.
I'm just thinking like the week before WrestleMania 15 and Triple H's heel turn that breaks up the Generation X, like a cool new stable of jocks forms called the Suck My Cock Crew.
Yeah.
they're not neon green and black. They're black and neon green. They're just like, yes, wait a second.
We get Pussy Pussy.
The Pussy Pussy. Yeah. To WrestleMania 15. You know what? You can suck all our dicks. Comes in from the side. Yeah, comes in from the side, but like in the shape of a labia, because we're the Pussy Pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wait a second.
Put that one got away.
Yeah, like Death Riders is still theoretically
the
clear and present danger Hangman Page. And it's like, I'm not going to worry too much about uncaged.
Yeah, I think really...
It's X Factor.
You know, you're
I
dealing
got
with the X
I
Factor.
Wanted, and we really fucking suck. It's friggin' Albert, just incredible and X-Factor. Yeah, Sean,
I like Nick Wayne a lot. Kip Sabian should be on the broadcast team, in my opinion. Remember when he used to do that? And he was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. To another backstage segment, this time with Jon Moxley. Says that he expects a lot from the people around him and even more from himself. He says, look, Page deserved to win, but the general idea he's trying to float is best night of your life, and it took you all that time to get there. Yeah. For you, it was the best day of your life. I usually have those in every day ending with why. He doesn't want to say it's a fluke, but he said it's an anomaly. Or he didn't say that, but he implies, look, what an anomaly of a result. Fair play, didn't expect it, but you got to do what I do all the time. Get up tomorrow and do it all over again. Look, I lost. No reason for me to be a bitch about it. But the thing is, the credits don't roll. This ain't no movie. Get up again, do it. Basically saying, let's do a rematch.
Yes.
I thought his performance here was brilliant. He is so good at being like, not that bothered.
Yeah. It was annoying in the right way. It played so gracefully off his performance in the tag match last week, I thought.
Yeah.
It's almost like he saw what we all saw 7 days ago. And he's like, I need to get across this. Mm-hmm. I'm Jon Moxley. I don't go on the internet. Like, Renee's telling me the people on the internet are saying I'm a coward. So I'm going to my insecurity is now boiled over that I've got to make this point. No, I'm not. Shut up. And it was one good...
No.
I tell you, it's he played the coward on television last week, right?
Deliberately.
And he's deliberately, he's a heel. I'm talking in kayfabe completely, by the way. He visibly backed off in fear of Hangman Page.
Yeah.
He's aware that people saw it. is very concerned about his status as the leader of the Death Riders and just in general.
Okay.
Like,
I don't know where this internet talk comes into it.
just the fact that, like,
just for you to be a snarky.
And Jon Moxley pretends to be above it. Oh, come on.
What's that got to do with anything?
It made me think of it in the moment. Like, I don't want to go crazy over it or anything. He's still this guy that's kind of like tanked half the year. But like, currently,
built everything.
No. Currently, it's the most back
it was good all
Jon Moxley has felt in like. It was good. Like, look, to be absolutely fair to him, like, he put 3 years of work into like being this boring character. We can't just say it started with the Death Riders. He really put a shift in being boring in BCC. However long it's been.
2022 was like the best wrestler alive.
You're right. It just felt like 3, maybe 4. Like, I'm not just forgiving him ultimately. Like, I'm still like a bit like that with Jon Moxley, but this, off the back of last week, was a really, really strong
He is
performance.
absolutely awesome. He's been awesome on an individual basis for about 3 months now, but I don't do that face. We disagree, agree to disagree.
It's nice. That's what makes the world go around.
It is, isn't it?
I can't wait for next week, like a straight-up singles match.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I need that a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think I like Jon Moxley singles matches generally. Take the weapons out, take the blood out. I'm really, really bang up for this.
Yeah, no, it'll be absolutely fantastic. What I like about this Moxley thing is this defeat, which he can't really sell that much, is obviously killing him. It reminds me of when like a lesser Premier League team like knocks like one of the big lads off their perch, and they'll just like point to the Premier League thing on the side of their kit, or they'll just hold up how many they've won. Like Vardy would do it.
Ever tell you the story of?
I got one. You've got none.
I pointed at I had a Sunderland shirt from way back with a Premier League badge on. It was a birthday present, and I was out for a run in Wigan on the day that we got humped 8-0, 9-0 off Southampton. The Santiago Virginia own goal. 8 it was. And I just went for a run out, and I like going and running around the Wigan Stadium, forgetting completely that they'd actually been at home that day. It's Wigan, there's never many fans around. So I'm like going for a run, and all my in-laws are from there. It's a nice joke, you're a rugby town. And the team bus of the team that has beat them is leaving. It would turn out to be Brentford's team bus, because this is how long ago it was. And I just ran past the bus. Some of the players just started pointing and laughing at me because I was wearing a Sunderland shirt and I hadn't even realised. And in a moment of panic while still running, I was like, oh God, these professional footballers are mocking me. I just pointed at the Premier League badge. Because they were like, little Brentford. Oh, how the tables turned in the fortunes of our teams.
Well,
but yeah.
Do you know what's probably going to swing the other way?
Oh, is that right?
Well. Statistically, you might be doomed.
I was going to say, we're feeling pretty doomed.
I think it's been the last however many seasons. The 3 who go up just go straight back down. It's like a really alarming trend. Now, isn't it? An alarming trend. Not for me, I like it.
Keep them out.
You've made some, I can't tell if they're shrewd yet, but bold moves in the transfer market. If you get Granit Xhaka, that could be quite a
I've heard of him.
Yeah, that could be a really good move. Basically, if you sign him, if he gets the ball at his feet from like 35 yards in the derby, I'm going to brick it. So that's going to be good. Good for me. Brentford sold their best player. The manager's gone to Spurs. They've might have lost the plot in terms of their recruitment by bringing in Jordan Henderson. Their second best player might be leaving as well. If there's one team where it looks like that's falling apart, and even if they've still got talent in the squad, that cannot help the psyche of the club to have a summer like they've had. So they look like they could be in free fall.
Everything's wrestling, isn't it? Bookers have runs.
Yeah.
It's everything's wrestling.
And ours is about to run out as well. Good stuff. All good stuff. We get an in-ring promo segment with Will Ospreay. Muted entrance. He comes out. Tony Schiavone. What's going on, basically? Ospreay says that... I've been in a bad way with my neck for 10 months. And this is a legitimate deal as well. Is it Meltzer or Fightful? It'll be one of them.
Yeah. Fightful, I think.
Him or Mike Johnson, those are the big three. Says that, it's got like he banged up with pretty significant or not insignificant spinal issues. But when he mentions the neck, Ospreay, and he mentions herniated discs, you're thinking, well, that's him out for 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And his tone is, worrying and alarming as well. But incredibly, he says that he's aiming to come back for Forbidden Door.
I mean, he would. Is
it one of those where my first thought was he wants to do Forbidden Door with it being in London and then take further time off after?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I think he's, and understandably so, I suppose, he will probably feel like, even though there was no poster with his face on or advertised match that sold all those tickets, he'll feel like responsible.
The first thing I'm thinking is what's Ospreay doing at Forbidden Door?
Yeah, he'll feel responsible for selling those tickets, and he's one of those wrestlers that wants to see it. Like I always make this comparison to Cody Rhodes. They remind me so much of each other in terms of the way they approach.
Total workaholic,
top baby,
desperate
what it means
to be the
QB,
guy. Yeah,
you know, and like I just think,
like look what Ospreay did for New Japan.
Yeah,
like a quite literally thankless task.
Yeah,
a clapful thankless task for how hard he went in those rings, and he was gutted as well about. He was like tweeting all sorts, like I think trying to get a petition off the ground for like, can we just have some cheering, please?
Yeah.
So
I sense that he will feel like almost like an obligation and a responsibility to it at Forbidden Door, and it wouldn't surprise me if there's any way that they can fold in some sort of angle or some sort of Ospreay, like if there was
lose
a worked version of Kurt Angle going out there at WrestleMania 19, is he all right? And then he gets beat, and then that's the time off that he takes. It's all done very safely in that, but I sense a break is forthcoming. After Forbidden Door.
I'm no doctor. I'm not his doctor. I don't know anything about it really, other than what's been reported and what Ospreay himself has said. But because there wasn't much to this, he says, "Look, I'm going to go away for a little while, aiming to be back for Forbidden Door." He embraces Swerve on the ramp. If I'm booking this, and in fact he is healthy enough to go at Forbidden Door, if just for one night, bearing in mind it's Wembley, and if Ospreay chokes in his hometown in the fiction, any heel he goes up against at Wembley can say that, you know, you're a big match choker. That's what you've been. You could argue the character, the fiction, like he's had lost to Swerve at Forbidden Door, lost the chance to go to All In to Hangman Page, and if you lose, another made him lose a lot. But then if he goes away for a while after that, the wrestling thing will happen where people will miss him desperately.
Yep.
When he comes back, he'll be reminded of how awesome he is. And again, that's the one thing with Ospreay is like people are taking him for granted, I think, at this point. He's so phenomenal. It's an oxymoron. Consistently phenomenal. Like, he consistently, in his best run that he's ever had, like the end of New Japan, beginning of AEW, consistently had match of the year candidate. Like, he was ridiculous.
We've talked a lot about AJ Styles' TNA run this week, and he's the true successor in that regard.
But
the standard has been like
bigger level pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it would be it sounds like it's the best thing for his health, and it might be the best thing for his character, and it might be the best thing for his long-term arc if he can, you know, grunt and bear it, grin and bear it. That's the actual phrase. Through Forbidden Door. Oh, shut up, Nick. Listen. Take the piss out
put
of
your
me
teeth in
the Shut up, man.
Get your teeth in.
It's hard. Doing Wilborn's job is hard.
Never mind what's going on under the table. Keep doing the talking.
Right, shut up, man. Have him lose at Forbidden Door, and then have the people who go to Forbidden Door and like write him off with some kind of injury angle. Not one in particular, which we're going to get to, that they're overdoing. And then he can make the babyface promise to win at Wembley. I know I let you guys down last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. He's thing about Will Ospreay, Sidge, he's not a student of the game. He's a student of the cleaner. Do you get it? Doesn't like Triple H, likes Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
This return from a neck injury is something that he can dine out on for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be the aerial assassin, I'd do anything, but like that neck injury layoff changed me, and now I have to be this. And it's like the Kenny Omega diverticulitis or the...
It's a bit early for that, I would say. To go full Shawn Michaels 2002 diverticulitis Kenny, I still think there's a period in Ospreay's career.
Oh, I just mean in terms of like adding the tension and the drama to it.
I know what you mean. I know, but I just think there's at least a 3-year run where Ospreay has to be the finely tuned great athlete Ospreay. I think as he nears 40, he's still only like 30 years old. Actually,
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! How old is Will Ospreay?
I'm 37, maybe? I don't know. Maybe 34. 34.
37?
Yeah.
Are you mad, bruv? He's 32.
32?
He's only 32.
That is young, isn't it?
He needs 3 years of prime. You can't be doing this like
Yeah.
I'm breaking down in front of your eyes until he's like pushing 40 for me.
Off the back of this promo feeling like it was quite foreboding and Ospreay did a great job with the delivery, would it be quite funny for that little weasel, Don Callis, to be like, I got the match for you, you loser, get yourself fit and I'll put you in there against Fletcher. And Fletcher beats him and put him out at Forbidden Door.
Potentially, but at this point I need Callis, Ospreay and Omega to be like, have a mutual restraining order. Do you know what I mean?
Get Cope's legal team in on it.
Yeah.
You got any of those restraining orders left?
Do that. Please. Next, this is where my mood starts. We get a video package for Thekla, Julia Hart, and Skye Blue's new stable. It's spooky adjacent, and you know where I am. A lot of words that don't really mean anything.
Yep.
It's only a sin to resist. What?
Yep.
Just stuff that thinks it's clever but means nothing. The Malachi Black learning tree.
Yep.
What kind of tree do you think he likes?
Oh, God.
There's new leaves on it.
New leaves. A Christmas tree made entirely of daggers. You can't even hang baubles off it because it pricks your finger each time.
I'm going to Google very quickly. Bear with me, lads.
Dangerous trees.
And everyone else. Types of trees.
Oh, I didn't realize we could do some crap wordplay out of it. Types of trees. What we got? See, I thought about the uke.
American sycamore nonsense with your eye.
That's good. American sycophants.
Yes.
Can we have the stable name of this group, please, Sidge?
Well, wait there. I need to do more
We
stuff.
want some more trees.
Black Locust with #1 with a bullet.
Yeah.
There's a tree
There's a
called
Black
Black Locust. That's got to be his favorite tree. It's better that. I mean, it's not going to be bloody, Christmas tree, is it? It's going to be Black Locust. Dragon tree, maybe. European beach. He's bloody on the beach for 3 years in AEW, so
maybe,
he's European as well. So that works on 2 levels.
Maybe it could be the gooseberry tree because he was third wheel in his own stable.
Yes, I like that as well. We have got...
There's a tree that's a sassafras.
It's what?
A sassafras. Sassafras?
Pistachio?
Pistachio. No, I like pistachio. I don't wish to have pistachio.
No, I don't want to be associated with that.
With
Weeping Willow?
Weeping Willow.
Weeping Willow is quite good, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's just Willow, but I just put weeping in front of it. Because he made me cry for 3 years with his absolute bollocks and politicking. Sorry, we're not moving swiftly on because their one goal is to infect the women's division. But who are they? The Triangle of Madness. The Triangle of Madness.
This, to make it perfectly clear that we're not hypocrites, but there are different narrative universes that can fit other things.
There's no narrative universe where spooky gimmicks work.
We would have a lot of fun with this in NXT.
Miraculously for Julia Hart, it got her a TBS title run.
The Triangle of Madness on a Tuesday night is something I want to look at. On a Wednesday, I find it laughable. Our goal is to infect All Elite Wrestling. What? Tony Khan has signed and allowed 3 women to work together that have the goal of basically rendering his entire women's roster sick and unable to turn up for work.
Yeah, well, let's not take it literally. One, let's not take it literally. I know it's a bit. They're basically saying we're going to dominate. Just after Nick Wayne had said it. And after every AEW wrestler has said it.
A lot of clips of like Julia Hart hitting the mist and Thekla scaring people as they spade you.
I will say though, Mr. Ooh, I'm able to go off Twitter for a bit. Grow up.
I do call myself that.
God, I wish I could do that. Grow up. Thekla was air quotes, fired from Stardom for beating up the president.
Okay. Dropped him in like a web.
Just generally beat him up. And that was a right out.
Okay.
So when you say, Tony Khan's just going to let them do it, as was revealed on Twitter, maybe they should explain this on TV, because if you're not on Twitter, you're now lost. And maybe all the bad faith grifters were correct all along. because on Twitter it was announced that, unbeknownst to anyone at the time, Thekla was under a 45-day probation, and they delayed the graphic because Toni wasn't entirely sure whether to trust her or not, because she is previous with like being unreliable and dangerous and volatile and beating up presidents. So she only got the Thekla is all elite graphic like a few days ago. She was on probation.
Pretty bloody good probation to get to work one of the biggest shows in company history, wasn't it? You'd have probably kept her off that if you were worried about that. You'd probably just be like, well, stick on TV, and when you get your proper all elite graphic and contract.
Though?
That's an interesting detail, actually.
They probably should put that. We stumbled.
Should have put that on Dynamite.
Doing a dickhead bit. Not that we do bits. That's like, if you're not on Twitter, you wouldn't have known that.
Matt Jackson's tantrum that time is so good. Put this on Dynamite. Yeah. It's a TV show, mate. It's what people watch.
Anyway, we go backstage again with Willow Nightingale, and if I'm not mistaken, she seems to be drawing a line under her unresolved program with Chris Statlander. We've never had that one last match, and teases a feud with the Triangle of Madness.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she's ready to be infected.
Yeah, well, let's hope she isn't.
Yep.
We go backstage.
And then that would make the brand new stable
room.
unsuccessful on night one.
The locker room, that is. And are the Hurts...
That's good stuff.
Are the Hurt Syndicate turning face? MJF is raging. That
hi, Max. Yeah.
MJF is raging that they aligned with Cope so quickly and weren't there to back him up earlier in the night when he confronted Hangman. Lashley immediately throws MJF against a locker, gives him a thumbs down, wants him out the group. We aren't your lackeys, Bob says, after which MVP and Shelton Benjamin do the old tut, shake of the head, and walk off. What's happening? There's two things. One, there's been a creative pivot, and this is a pretty wonky and inelegant way of just, it's over and done with. Or there is some kind of big scheme developing where MJF and the Hurt Syndicate are still, honestly, my brain is so wrestling, in cahoots.
Yeah.
But they are obscuring this from Hangman as part of this master plan.
Hence why the camera started with a legitimate reason to be there, and when it stuck around,
that's an AEW thing generally, though.
They orchestrated it sticking around in order for it not to be a like, you were supposed to see this Hangman Page. You watch the show, you're a smart baby face, you're the world champion, you watch this, you've seen this, throw him off kind of thing. Yeah, I didn't believe this, and was that the point? I think that's the generous read on it for now. I didn't believe Bobby Lashley's performance or anger. Was that the point?
Yeah.
Has MJF already, as we've highlighted, kind of been taken aback by Hangman Page's confidence and getting in his face and saying, not interested, Max, sod off, shut up, usual stuff from you, gonna have to do better this time. And he's immediately gone away and been like, come on now.
Yeah.
Well, let me orchestrate this thing with my friends in the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby, chuck me against that wall. Like, really, Hangman's watching. Chuck me against that wall. Make him think I haven't got any mates all over again.
Yeah.
Then we'll see. Then I'll show him. Like, I am willing to extend that latitude to this for now, because I simply didn't really buy or like what I was seeing. So I would rather think it was informing a bigger picture than just that pivot.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The reason why we are bargaining for this little scheme idea is, if you look at the order of events, this simply can't be the plan. It takes ages for MJF to worm his way in. He was worming his way into the Hurt Syndicate, which I expect went maybe a few weeks longer than planned, because the thumbs gimmick was so much fun, and they probably just tried, let's buy a few more weeks of this because that's over. But the story was, it took him ages to get into the Hurt Syndicate. The idea is he wanted the Hurt Syndicate to back him up to secure him the title.
Yeah.
So when there's, imagine the big whiteboard or the creative process, they're going, story beat, story beat, story beat, story beat, story beat, story beat. It didn't go, let's take ages and dedicate loads of top-of-the-hour TV time. What's the grand finale for the story? Oh, well, Cope's going to pay the money to beat up FTR, and then they're just going to get sick of Max's crap after a while. Oh, no, not the plan. So there's been either a change in plan, or this is not the end. Who knows?
Fiction.
The whole thing left me a little bit, what?
Yeah, because MJF wasn't happy that they'd been mercenaries for Cope, was he? It was made very clear that Cope and MJF are not on terms here. And
It was
gone behind his back to take
MJF's
money.
explanation was, "Are you kidding?
Yeah.
How long it took me to get into the group, and now you're just doing deals with and helping out Cope."
So they've done that kind of behind his back. So if this was a plan by MJF to have Bobby pretend to rough him up, there's still some dissension there.
There's still a bit of a logic gap.
Yeah.
Of like, why would Cope just, it's Cope who's, I don't know. It was all a bit strange, this. And I guess it is, after All In Texas, you have to kind of let this sort of stuff play out.
Are we huffing the Cope, Ian? Let us know, guys.
Match number 3 is Timeless Toni Storm versus Billie Starkz. In contrast to the opener, this is your regulation back and forth. Billie impresses with a senton to the floor. Toni rallies with some Mongolian chops to Taz's delight before blasting Starkz with an emphatic sit-out choke bomb. Starkz won't go down easily, fighting back with a roll-up counter to sweet cheek music, but is swiftly put away with Storm Zero. It was solid, hard to get too excited about, harder to criticize. Was expecting something a bit more psychotic given the dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I enjoyed this, but I think I enjoyed it in that way that I was thinking about liking watching them wrestle more than I was particularly invested in the fiction. And I kind of think, here we go again, that I like cash-ins.
I should say, sorry to step on your dig. It would be really wrong and uncool of me to expect Billie Starkz to do something horrifically violent to herself in every single match.
But
that's my expectation level at this point.
No, but they have laid out as well that her whole role in this was not to win, but was to leave Toni so decimated that she was available to be cashed in on.
Yeah.
It didn't really work it like that.
She didn't really cheat or anything like that.
Nah.
But it's that AEW autopilot brain of putting matches together.
Yeah.
That it's kind of always been a problem. On flatter weeks creatively,
but
it really stands out.
But this is what I'm saying. I genuinely think it's a Tony Khan issue here because it didn't happen in Hangman Page and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, but that was a total anomaly as we've been through. There is literally a men's match here that goes 50-50, and I'm going to talk about it in 2 minutes.
I was going to say, if you could
got Tony Khan.
I'm saying if you could apply the same thought that you did onto a match literally on this show.
You could have hard on for Tony Khan on this podcast.
Well, I think he's kind of shown his arse a bit on this episode. This to me was
so there's just 1,000 things to thank him for, and as opposed to the million for Paul Levesque.
Why are we talking about Paul Levesque on an AEW podcast? Sage?
Why
must you bring up Triple H? I don't want to do that.
Got a hard on for Tony.
I think that's what people have accused you of over the years.
Have you seen this with the photoshops?
Not recently. Oh, well, you're riding him.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Any more to say on this match?
Again, the execution of the teaser, the cash-in and all that. Don't do it. I
haven't got to the post-match yet.
Sorry, not on the match, no. Not what it was promoted as, really, based on the promo at the start of the show.
Yeah. So I expected loads of cheating.
Yeah.
Didn't really get it. Just got a back-and-forth match that was not quite as psychotic as I wanted. Post-match, Billie Starkz attacks Toni with a belt to facilitate, not a cash-in, but a contract execution, motioning Athena, who I should have mentioned was in that big Toni Storm spot. But before she can execute, which I'm gonna get sick of that word in about, I would say, 2 weeks, if not already. Athena's collision opponent, Alex Windsor, prevents her, and that's a setup for that match. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes. That's more along the lines of, I will make time for that because I want to buy into Athena more than I'm doing from these Dynamite appearances.
Yeah.
I want to be more invested in her and Toni Storm for all the proper reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be where I was at emotionally with Athena and Mercedes. Remember that. Remember not being able to pick a winner.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't give Athena a chance in hell against Toni Storm right now, would you?
I don't know.
No?
It's just that's the one thing about this contract execute gimmick.
I guess. It was funny to me as well.
You have to suck. That's the thing as well. If you don't cash in, you suck.
True.
You sucker.
I totally get why they did this, by the way, of Athena being like, I can be in the balcony. So we're all balcony users, Toni. But it was funny to me, the idea of on this night where she planned this, I'll stop using cash in, you're right, the terminology is important.
No,
she planned the grand execution, but still insisted on doing the balcony bit. And the idea of her rushing from the balcony to get the ring rather than just, if I'm going to execute, I should probably be ringside.
Yeah. That's not bad.
This is funny to me. Yeah, it's like a heel to think get out my way. Or pushing past people to get down the stairs.
Yeah, I know I was trying to look cool, but I need to win this match.
Somebody's coming down the stairs with a drink. I've got a title to cash in on.
They should do that and just put them in their face. It's worked out well for AEW in the past.
Right, guys.
Match 4 starts after a mint Don Callis promo in which he declares with a wildly over-the-top introduction. You were not on Twitter. People are obsessed with the fact that he's going, like that for like a really long time. That Hechicero going back to when he would say, Omega's better than Gotch, Hackenschmidt, and Okada's better than Baba, better than Ricky Dozan. Hechicero's apparently better than El Santo and Mil Mascaras. Did he show it against Swerve Strickland? I'm not convinced. Welcome to miserable, tired Brit Corner. Because I wasn't moved here, really, at all. In an early thread, Swerve tries to out-grapple Hechicero with a cool take on an abdominal stretch, but this is kind of dropped, and then it just becomes a slow and flat shootout. Sorry. 450 splash, Lam Magistral, flatliner, moves happening in front of me, not much in the way of heat. Worse still, it ends via disqualification, rendering a letdown of a match, in my opinion, a complete waste of time when Josh Alexander and Lance Archer throw Swerve off the top rope when he's probably attempting the I always get the house call or the last
house call.
What's the other one called?
It's what, Swerve Stomp?
The Swerve Stomp.
Yeah.
So he's trying the Swerve Stomp.
Oh, sorry,
That's why I get confused. I shouldn't. It's just a bad.
I like that guy.
Bad bit of analysis. Brody King and Bandito make the save, and sometimes I try, right, pay attention to this. When I see a brawl.
Senator.
Yeah, I just do that.
Yeah.
It's facilitate. There's just now in these brawls half the time. They're just so commonplace. Like Brody King isn't like, you prick, I'm going to kick your ass. And it's Brody King. These brawls are always so lifeless, so mandatory. But this allows Okada to sort of come in undetected into the ring. Attempts to hit Swerve with a tombstone. I got problems, guys. Swerve avoids it and tries to pulmonize Okada's neck. That's the top heel group's new thing. Come on, lads. I know Swerve isn't your traditional, hand-slapping, happy guys, bright-colored, tight babyface.
Yeah.
I know this, but don't do the thing that, A, your top heel group is doing, and B, hasn't worked as a truly believable device in decades, the pillmanizing stuff.
Yeah.
I just think if the Death Riders are doing it as their thing, the people who are going up against the Death Riders shouldn't do it as their thing.
Is there anything to doing it to Swerve because it's the thing that took out Swerve's mate Will Ospreay?
Was not Swerve trying to do it to Okada?
But Swerve using it because it's this thing.
I just think wrestling can't. I think wrestling can't help itself.
Is it not trying to tease thing down the line when Swerve is eventually going to face Ospreay that he's like, oh, bruv, I didn't really like you doing that. I've just been on the show saying that you shouldn't be doing that. It's on my discs.
You're reaching.
You're doing it to other people.
You're reaching, bro.
All right, yeah. So I've often been accused of being too generous with All Elite Wrestling. I've done it again.
Maybe.
This whole
what
thing
did you think of the match?
Rubbish. This is a worst case scenario all the way around. This was. I am less interested. I hate the Don Callis family, by the way. Sorry. I hate them. I hate them.
I
hate them.
Before Rocky Romero got involved, I was genuinely in.
I think they're a stain on this product and I need them to go away. I think Don Callis at this point is negatives far
when
outweighs
Fletcher was really, truly on the rise, that was a good stable.
I think it existed with a purpose for Kyle Fletcher then. I think you could lift Fletcher out of it and he could maintain his purpose.
I like Callis and Fletcher together. I think they really were.
Callis, I'm annoyed bored with Don Callis, I think.
Well, he's getting over on Twitter, so get used to more of him.
Okay.
Even more of it, I should say.
Yeah. This match was I don't want to say it was a crushing disappointment because that would imply I was excited in the first place, but it was particularly...
Is Swerve selectively amazing?
Yeah.
He has chemistry issues with more than one wrestler.
Yes, and it's weird.
Okada, Moxley, Hechicero spring to mind. Swerve amazing, on his day,
best wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the extremes you're dealing with, aren't they? We talk about this, the sort of emergence of regular Debbie Deeks on WWE TV has kind of led us to talking about them again. And it's when is it okay? And it's it is more subjective than people realize, a DQ or a count out or whatever. It's still a finish. It's just how that finish is executed or cashed in on. And the finish here was so reminiscent of one of the ones that makes you the most angry on a Raw or SmackDown because it's I watched this for that. There's no sense of, no, I lost my finish to this scintillating classic or whatever.
The match has got to be good these days to...
Yeah. Otherwise, you're doubly ripped off. And that's what I got here.
Because the whole point of a DQ now is you never, ever, at least if you know you're 39 or you're 40 years old, you're not going to think, oh, bloody hell, that heel.
Yeah.
That bad guy has just ruined my favourite's chance to win. You just don't think in those terms. So now, the only way to do an effective disqualification is if the match flat out rules. And obviously the plan was for it to rule.
And the DQ's like interesting or kind of unique. Or, like they like really thought about how the referee was taken or like what the heel's goal was or whatever. And it's like the heels want to bat Swerve because he's feuding with their guy. They could do that anywhere. They could do it at any point. The Swerve could win the match and then they could. It's all like
so. This DQ just made this already really flat and slow, kind of nothing match feel like a waste of time.
It is. I will be kind in that the more I've thought,
you could feel a second close of that sentence as well coming up.
Yes, sorry. It's Swerve and Okada's the Forbidden Door match.
I tell you what,
it is. Swerve's going to be mega. He's a huge over in the UK guy. Okada's got like significant. We were in the building for it at Wembley.
Oh, darn.
There's value in that match more at Forbidden Door than probably any other show on the calendar.
It feels like 2017 when you see Okada live.
Yeah.
Not this night, but most nights. So this was a slow and flat nothing match, a disappointment, with a terrible finish that would only have worked if the match was good. Seeking to build two matches at once, they need to keep Hechicero. Got to worry about Ring of Honor guys. So just the match shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
To build to a Ring of Honor match, great, and a big AEW match that wasn't very good when they first did it. Almost, I don't want to say nightmare scenario. That's too hyperbolic, but. Like, oh dear.
It was bad booking.
Bad booking. I will say that I'm really glad it's happening at Forbidden Door because a London crowd going crazy for this match and the idea of these two wrestlers interacting might need to do a lot of the heavy lifting because their chemistry issues were apparent on Dynamite.
He's like an adopted Brit Res guy, Swerve, isn't he? Like the reaction.
He did loads of towns, yeah.
Like ain't nobody would have gone down, would have gone off at Wembley.
A lot of people sort of state All In 2023 as the point where it's like, oh, this guy could be a headliner. Yeah. This guy could be a headliner. And obviously he's made loads of towns. Did you see that? Oh, you're not on Twitter. Scotty Too Hot, he posted a picture of Funny How Things Work. 9 years ago, I was doing some work in the UK and my son was really impressed with two wrestlers. And he wanted to go and get his picture taken with them because he started to really like them. The other weekend, those two wrestlers teamed up to have a massive, great match at All In, and my son had his professional wrestling debut that weekend as well. It's a picture of Scotty Too Hot's kid with a unbelievably young-looking Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland.
Oh, nice.
So that's just very nice.
That's class,
cool. Yeah. Absolutely. Backstage, Ricochet. The Gates of Agony are now simply GOA, and have moved on from like that sort of generic badass, ripped out of a comic book look that they had, like these grunting sort of powerhouse dudes, into cool guys. It fits Korn because like he's very, very like ripped and handsome. Leona looks like he's playing a gimmick.
Yeah.
But he was quite fun in this segment, quite menacing with his threats and all the rest of it. That was this. A rebrand for the Gates of Agony.
Can I just shock you? I like this new menacing stable threatening to wreak havoc on All Elite Wrestling. On a show where there was probably too many of them, these were my guys. And the point is that it does force you to kind of contrast and compare, doesn't it? You're kind of already making your choices. Yeah. Who am I going to go with? The triangle of, I've already forgotten. Madness, or Uncaged, or whatever the Death Riders are now. Where am I going to cash my chips? I'm a Ricochet and Mates guy. These are mine. Yeah. They're funny.
They are funny.
And they're going to be still dangerous as well.
Yeah.
They'll walk that line, I think.
I think there's a good act percolating here. Absolutely. MJF appears live as scheduled just before the main event. He begins by insisting he doesn't need Bob. He can defeat Hangman Page fair and square. So, yeah, again, Either Hurt Syndicate face turn or a scheme is afoot. Mark Briscoe very quickly interrupts MJF, leading to what's essentially the same segment as the talkie talk, but it's still entertaining and more to the point, promising more than good or even necessary, you could argue. Mark Briscoe says he wants to ram the microphone so far up MJF's ass that they won't find it, but he has too many kids to risk a fine. That was a funny line. Mark wants a match next week. MJF deadpans very quickly. No. This is mid-card happy guy Briscoe, but I think it's on purpose. MJF again says that Briscoe is a hick, and it must be very depressing to wake up every day and remember that nobody respects you like they did your brother Jay. Briscoe fires up, not enough for me, but it's wrestling. He's going to really fire up just before the match happens as MJF runs away. This is much of the same, but this is the thing. They are telling you conglomeration, Mark Briscoe. MJF is saying this at the same time as burying him for it. Mm-hmm. Conglomeration, everyone's mate, wacky entertainment value, Mark Briscoe. Enjoy it. This is the last week or two you're going to see it. They are going to develop him into a more serious character. That was the key takeaway from a segment that, again, it was the talkie talk again.
Yeah, I thought this was decent maintenance. Nothing more, nothing less. On a show where I kind of didn't really like the other MJF Hurt Syndicate development, it was sort of refreshing in that regard as a contrast to it.
Yeah.
You sometimes have like keep the premise ticking along until you're ready to get to your next big bit.
Yeah.
And as long as you perform that well, I'm happy enough. I quite like this.
Yeah, if nothing else, I love Mark Briscoe, but he can be incidentally funny when he's being really serious. And he has been flanderized to an extent, but they're telling you, aren't they? Telling you, no, it's not happening anymore. He's going to be a serious proposition.
Mm-hmm. I think so, yeah. This is the level up feud he's having here.
So with Briscoe still in the ring, Claudio Castagnoli, bathed in red light, makes his entrance for the main event. It's another one of those, looks very cool until you think about how long he's been stood on the balcony. When he was in the lift that time, and it's like, does this look menacing enough, this red light? Do I look terrifying? Well, I need to intimidate my opponent for the match. Yeah, so I'm just going to stand here for a few minutes, looking hard. Got it. So this one's even funnier because he's in this backstage bit, and he's like the stairs going up to like the bleachers and what have you. And there's like a little, what would you call it? He stood on what is he stood on?
Well, it's like a little, I don't know what you would call it.
Like a little feature of the wall that you has to hop down from.
Like what your kids jump on when they see things like that.
Yeah.
When they're walking along little walls or like there's little fixtures, they'll just be like, oh, it's a bit higher than my usual footing,
Yeah,
so
I want to go
walk
up and jump off.
Yeah.
And then Claudio's like, so he stood there for ages, like, can I jump off now? My legs are starting to hurt. Right, cool. Hop off. It's like, hop off.
Like a jock in high school. They were like, this is where I hang out.
Yeah.
Come meet me by the bleachers. Come meet me by the small fixture I stand on.
Yeah.
He's been there the whole show. Oh, it's match time, is it?
Yeah.
Best get off my stoop.
Yeah. Claudio on the stoop.
That's this AEW, that's his Cesaro section. It's this tiny bit of fixture.
So what I was saying is, I don't really take him seriously after this
It'd be
entrance.
funny if, like, next week they show a clip of when Wheeler's getting, like, beaten up by Hangman and he is actually there and he's not helping. Staying on my stoop.
Staying on my stoop, asshole. The match is a back and forth slugfest. Hardly a TV match of the year contender or anything you've not seen. In fact, when I saw Mark Briscoe versus Claudio Castagnoli pop up in that match graphic, I thought, all right, that's good for the second match. Oh, it's the main event. I know exactly how it's going to go. It is elevated by Briscoe's crowd interaction, mastery, and the stiffness of it all. It's always goddamn awesome when there is a wrestler who used to commentate, who reacts with visceral, like sort of like a vicarious pain at some of the stuff involved. Mark Briscoe hits like an open palm chest chop here, and Taz, Jesus Christ, it sounded like a shotgun going off. It was great. During the match, Darby Allin, I should mention, emerges from the crowd to tease renewed hostilities with the Death Riders. Some decent spots include this guardrail run blockbuster from Mark Briscoe, a really cool looking avalanche body slam from Claudio. I was gonna right, you know, like the 3-clause sentence, right? I was going to write, I couldn't think of anything else that I really liked, so I just ended it too. Briscoe rolls up Claudio for an abrupt victory, ending a match I'd forgive Hamflett for being bored by.
Yeah, I was bored, but
yeah, I knew it.
but
But it's fine now. I mean, it just wasn't that good.
benefited from the environment, I think.
A lot of this Dynamite does. I think we're underselling how hot these fans
Yeah.
are for all of this and how lush it looks.
Yeah, it's collision-y in a bigger building or a different building, but this is... And I want to praise the very, very smart business of what they're about to book as well, more so than the fiction, actually, because they've managed and fostered this relationship over, like, what, they're going to do 6 TV tapings here in total. Done a really, really strong job with the Dynamite of making each show feel it's special when it's really easy to think, especially now, I had this last week.
Yeah.
Saw the balconies last week. I want a new building now.
Yeah.
It's that, like, that greed of the 52-week churn. I thought they've done a really good job of making these 3 Dynamites like feel special to the audiences that night.
Yeah, absolutely. The power of a great world champion is underscored in the post-match angle. I was feeling a bit apathetic, honestly, about this Dynamite. Ready to draft a tweet, in fact, about how the highs of running a massive annual event are all but certain to be followed by something of a come down. You know, Backlash has never been WrestleMania, to use the closest analogy in wrestling, okay? Then Hangman walks out to prevent the Death Riders from maiming Mark Briscoe, but not before he takes his wicked, like, stomach first bump on an upturned chair. I thought he was going to get impaled. It looked jerk. Hangman enters the ring. Death Riders don't do out as he goes nose to nose with Mox. And I heard what he said earlier in the night, offers Mox the rematch, but on his terms. Nobody is allowed at ringside. Everybody's bad. He already knows the answer, dumbass, so we'll see you next week. And he just walks out of that ring glowing with such a I am the top guy aura that he knows they're not going to do anything to him. When he turns their back on them, it's like, that is just so badass. He comes across as the guy who just, he can't beat him. He's our world champion. He is our champion of the world. A quicker match graphic than Grok itself could create flashes on the big screen. Like 2 seconds after Hangman Page has put the terms out there, right? It's got everyone's barred from ringside on the match graphic, the date, the town, the picture. You know what I mean? It is ridiculous.
Headcanon. Could we argue that Hangman Page
It's gone to Toni.
told Tony Khan, get that graphic ready because I'm challenging him and he ain't saying no. I'm the man. I'm the champ.
I mean, I shouldn't have to think this far about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've written in my notes here, I've come to laugh at this as a daft AEW quirk, right? I never wanted to lower my standards for AEW, but you do reach a point when you just get older and a bit more jaded. It's not going to be 7 stars every single time. And there's just things that you can't change and just learn to live with and even mock, you know, affectionately almost. He gets his match graphics up quick and it all feels a bit fake. This match is too big for this sort of stupidity, quite frankly. But it doesn't matter. Hangman fears no man. Character development has happened after all these years of mental strife and self-doubt, and it's better than he could have possibly hoped for. This was cowboy-ish, and the heels are all scared of him.
Loved it.
What are your thoughts on the match? Boring, yes.
Oh, yeah.
We've already been through this.
Can't wait for this. Really want to see this, like this, as I said before, this straight singles match. I believe in
You wanted it all in Texas.
Yeah, I believe in the high ceiling of this.
You were wrong, by the way.
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking forward to see it play out on television. It's good. I don't have a lot to say about the fiction. I think you've articulated it better than I could anyway. I think this is good business. I like praising. I know it's not very popular to praise good business. You ain't making money. That's the company's money. Do you like it or not? I like that this
They
is
go
good.
together, don't they?
Yeah. Like, you've got to bring people back into this building for the 3rd week in a row off a couple of Dynamites where not a lot is happening. This is smart business.
Yeah.
You just...
I mean, they've already sold these tickets, I think.
Have they?
Well, they've done like...
Well, all right then. Even if you sold the tickets, you sent people away who have bought the tickets next week, as hyped as they've been thus far, and it's the 3rd week. That's an achievement.
And
you should be praised for that.
And as well, like, they've kind of killed Chicago. I mean, they're not doing the Sears Center no more.
Yeah.
At least not for a TV.
That's why you find
taping.
yourself in a 1,000-seater.
If you can do this really cool residency that sort of re-energizes that market and you get something that basically the next time AEW comes to town, if they decide to do a bigger building, not like the United Center, but a bigger one, they think, oh, I'm going to have to get a ticket. They did Mox Hangman last time. And that was awesome. And I've got a nice memory.
It's such a neat... what if you got all 3? You turned up and you were there for the celebration of the title win, the realization that maybe Moxley's afraid, the setup for the rematch in week 2, the rematch in week 3. That's a really nice 3-week cycle that you got to witness, a mini story within this much bigger one.
Yeah.
It's really, really smart booking, business-based booking, but that you can definitely wrap a narrative around.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely impressed with this.
Yeah.
Shocked by the announcement, buzzed for it next week.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have we been too miserable and British on this podcast? I did get that feeling quite a lot, but Hangman Page gives you the feeling, and that is the most important thing. Let us know in the comments below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. That was a mouthful. I've been packing like a bastard to move house. I'm fundamentally exhausted, so just you're going to have to forgive me, guys, okay? You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow me at Sidgwick. We are putting something in the can for later in the summer this afternoon, and I'm off doing more house stuff tomorrow, so I'm assuming, is there anything tomorrow or not?
Loads. Loads. Me and Nicholas for SmackDown, and then an anything but wrestling special edition of Wrestle Culture. Q&A, live chat. We're kind of going to go different, you know what I mean?
We're kind of going to Skype and have a chat and call it work.
Me and Wilborn kind of get a bit too wrestling heavy on SmackDowns on Fridays, so with me and Nicholas, we're taking it to a different postcode, yeah? It's going to be awesome.
Okay, well, look out for that. Subscribe for that if you want, wherever you get your podcasts from, for not quite at the minute, but in September, daily wrestling podcasts. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to Hamflett and our handsome producer, Adam Nicholas. Thank you all again for watching and listening, and we